my soul in the early morning. Wake up again, it's a new day. Wake up my soul, it's time to fly. Float on the winds and kiss the sky. The birds and flowers were made for you and me. I must be all I can be.
All right. It's a beautiful Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen. The week usually run really fast, but nonetheless, we're going to be running fast with it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Labor with Leo. Today is Fresh Fun. Wait. I think we're easing up the Fresh Fun Friday just for today. Oh no. Sorry about that. We got a guest to talk to you on the topic arthritis. We're going to be talking on arthritis today. You know, he's a long friend of mine, an old friend of mine, an old classmate of mine as well. And the only available time, usually his 6 a.m.s are booked up, and it's only available time because of a reschedule or a cancellation. You know, he had this morning available, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take the opportunity to talk with him this morning on arthritis. You know, this program is all about bringing value to you, and I see it important to give you this value this morning, ladies and gentlemen. So no Fresh Fun Friday. We're still going to be having a fun Friday, but not the usual Fresh Fun Friday, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to be doing is talking on this serious issue. I know a lot of you out there probably dealing with arthritis and joint pains and all these issues. We're going to be getting some stuff done this morning, getting some information for you this morning so that you can live a better life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you're ready to rumble. You know what we do. We usually start the day the best way possible. You know how we start the day the best way possible? We just give praise and thanks to the Almighty. You know, there is no life, there is no health, there is no strength, there is no accomplishing anything without the Almighty, ladies and gentlemen. So all praise and thanks. We woke up this morning and we have air in our lungs because the big man himself decided to give us that opportunity. All right. So blessings go out to you guys on the outside there. I'm seeing Yutzi Lynch on the inside. Big up to my girl Yutzi Lynch, Siobhan Clark. We got Patsy Kissoon on the inside. Yeah, we got Veronica Charles and Sandra Stewart. We got Cecil Millington all the way from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Mandy Dabisaran, Charmaine Boyce, Florence Sturton from Central Side, ladies and gentlemen. Misty Blue from St. Vincent. Lucy Fraser, Wendy and Norton. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some celebrities popping in here this morning. Suzette Neptune Fortune. Yeah, we got Gloria Charles, Deanne Marie Muhammad, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, we got some big names coming out here. Jennifer Julian, Alice Solomon from St. Lucia. We got Kenneth M. Hodge, Chef Correct Clark in the house, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about. Cecilia George, good morning to you, Sister Swenda, viewing from the U.S. And Denison McIntyre, also viewing from the U.S., ladies and gentlemen. Big up to you guys. Nicholas Samuel. We got Beulah Tate and Bernice Bisundat in the house. We got Joanna Laborde and Janae De Silva. Guys, you know, I just want to say pleasant good morning to you and thank you so much for your support. Thank you for continuously jumping on this morning show. You know, it's just to give people that good start to the day. You know, people need a good start to their day. You know, oftentimes we wake up in the morning and, you know, some of the first things we think about is, you know, the issues that we're dealing with, you know, life's issues, you know, marital issues and the money that you have to pay for the bills and you can't come up with the money for the rent, you know, and, you know, what the children going to eat today. You know, we just want to think about life issues. It's so easy to think about the negative things first. But I just want to bring a different twist to things. So this program here is to help you live a better life, giving you a better way to view life and thinking positive, looking at even dreadful issues, I'm pulling the good from it and learning from it. So ladies and gentlemen, hope you're ready to rumble with me. Ladies and gentlemen, look La Mimi in the chat. When last I see that name in the chat, boy, La Mimi touched down. And when she touched down, the whole place shelled down, ladies and gentlemen. Big up to my girl La Mimi. She's in the chat room this morning. All right, we know La Mimi had some stuff to take care of, but this morning she is inside. She's locked on the inside, so I can't wait to hear the kind of madness she's ready to throw out at people. All right, so guys, so those of you who have been bad talking La Mimi are telling you no, they've been bad talking you when you're gone, right? While you're gone, they bad talking you, so deal with them. La Mimi come out for them this morning. All right, guys. Yep. Well, this morning, let's get into it. We want to sing some songs to say, to give all glory and thanks to Almighty God. And at the appropriate time, in just a little while, just a short while, we're going to be introducing a well-capable guy to talk with us on the topic arthritis. We're going to be learning some stuff this morning, all right? Remember, you can call in if you have any questions. If you have any issues that you've been dealing with, you can call in and ask our dear guest this morning, and I'm sure he will have a good answer for you, all right? So let's go on. Let's sing a few songs and wake up the brain a little bit. Let's sing this one. I woke up this morning with my mind, you know that it stayed on Jesus. You know I woke up this morning with my mind, you know that it stayed on the Lord. Yeah, you know I woke up this morning with my mind, you know that it stayed on Jesus. Hallelujah. Come on, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah. Yeah, I'm walking and talking with my mind. You know that it stayed on Jesus. You know I'm walking and talking with my mind. You know that it stayed, oh, on the Lord. Yeah, you know I'm walking and talking with my mind. You know that it stayed on Jesus. Hallelujah, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah. That's exactly what we're talking about. You know, every now and again, I love to sing a song and dedicate it to the people out there who are struggling, you know, because I just don't know the kind of things that you're dealing with when the day comes. I just don't know. But I love to dedicate a little song or two to you every now and again to cheer you up and to give you that strength. Listen to this one. Sing to those who are fearful hearted, do not be afraid. The Lord your God is strong, and with his mighty arms, when you call on his name, you better sing with me this morning. He will come and save. Come on, he will come and save you. He will come and save you. Just say to the weary one, your God will surely come. He will come and save you. He will come and save you. He will come and save you. Just lift up your eyes to him. You will arise again. He will come and save you. Say to the brokenhearted, come on, sing to those who are brokenhearted. Do not lose your faith. No, no, the Lord your God is strong, and with his loving arms, when you call on his name, he will come and save. Somebody got to sing with me. He will come and save you. He will come and save you. Just say to the weary one, your God will surely come. He will come and save you. He will come and save you. He will come and save you. Just lift up your eyes to him. You will arise again. He will come and save you. So say to the weary one, your God will surely come. He will come and save you. You better lift up your eyes to him. He will arise again. He will come and save you. Oh, that's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're feeling energized and you're ready to pump. You're ready to go. Remember, it's Friday and this is the last day for labor for the week. All right. You know, throughout the weekend, for some of you, the weekend usually feels so long. All right. Because there's no labor on weekends. So until Monday again. So let's sing one final song and then we'll bring our guest on to speak to you this morning on this topic that needs some attention. All right. Let's sing this one more song. Gladys Miller, wherever you're viewing from, Gladys Miller, Gladys always suggesting this song, all right? So I'll sing this song for you on this Friday morning. Let's drop this one. Hey, why worry? Come on. When you can pray, worry. Sing it. When you can pray, oh, why worry? When you can pray, Lord, trust Jesus, and he will lead the way. Don't be like doubting Thomas. Put your faith and trust in Jesus. Why worry? Somebody trouble the water. Yeah, the water is trouble, my friend. Come on, step right in, cause God's almighty power is moving every hour. No longer stand on trial, and the water is trouble, my friend. Step right in, yeah, the water is trouble, my friend. Step right in, cause God's almighty power is moving every hour. No longer stand on trial, and the water is trouble, my friend. Step right in. That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. The water is trouble. Bringing vibes to keep you alive this morning on this beautiful Friday morning. I hope you're ready to go. Hope you're ready to rumble, because at this time we got a young man, as I said before, you know, an old classmate of mine, ladies and gentlemen. We're old friends, old buddy, old pals. You know, is one that a young man I respected from since school days. And a man I learned a lot from, all right? And I'm still learning a lot from, because he has so much to offer, all right? He's the owner of Chetwayo's Fitness Enterprise. I hope I got that right. Chetwayo's Fitness Enterprise, ladies and gentlemen. He conducts his own business. He can take your health when you're dwindling all down to 0 and raise you up again to 100. Wow, with some of the results that he has, you know, had in the recent past, ladies and gentlemen, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. And so I decided to bring him here to bring some value to you people, because taking care of our health is important, ladies and gentlemen. We need to take care of our health, get ourselves in good shape, and we need to get the truth. You know, a lot of us, we know diet is important, and he's big on diet. We know diet is important. But have we really been getting the right information to get on a proper diet? This morning, I want to introduce to you the man himself, the number one on the market these days, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only. There is none like him, Chetwayo Borde. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your boy Chetwayo Borde this morning. Wow. Good morning to you, Chet. What's happening, my man?
Morning. Thanks for having me. What an introduction. That was a real good introduction, as well as entering a MMA match there with that kind of introduction.
Oh, Chet, hey, welcome, man. Welcome to Label. This is the best morning show on the market, bro. We bring the vibes to keep the people alive. And we want to thank you so much for taking the time, taking your time to jump on this program. I'm so happy the Lord blessed me with the opportunity to have you here, because when you tell me you're booked up on morning times, and then you hail me out and you say, hey, you know, I have a cancellation here, what we gonna do? I say, all right, I'm jumping at it one time, you know. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here, because you're a new face, because you're a new face on the program. Tell the people a little bit more about yourself now, man.
All right, well, I have qualifications in different fields of fitness. My correct job title is a professional health and fitness coach. So I am certified in ISCA certified, AEA, TTFA, and KMG. So all these are different institutes of learning. I was a past lecturer at Trinidad and Tobago Fitness Academy, where I used to teach and certify instructors in different fields of fitness. Okay. I'm also known in Trinidad as having the aquatic exercise class. I had the largest aquatic exercise class as well until the whole COVID thing took place, right? So I had the largest class in the country, right? So that's aquatic exercise. For those that aren't familiar with it, that's training and exercising in water, right? In the aquatic environment, which of course you would have known about, because I believe you brought your wife a couple times to experience the classes. All right. So that's what I do. Now I focus more on online training. I am also a personal trainer as well. And what I have ventured into is nutritional coaching, because that's where the downfall is with regards to most people's health. So my emphasis for years is nutritional coaching. For those that know me, they would know that I train without the use of any drugs, without the use of any supplements, and without the use of weights. So I train just using the body alone. And when people see my physique, they tend to not believe that, because I work out under half hour a week personally. All right, so that kind of astounds people when they see my physique. But what I tell people, it have a lot to do with nutrition. Nutrition being the key part. I would say 90 to 95% of your health is based on your nutrition, and that's where the downfall is. So I know the topic this morning is on arthritis. So I guess we could get right into it.
Well, right, so before we go into it, I'm just astounded that you work out, because I see your physique, and you work out under half an hour a week, not a day. I say under half an hour a week.
Yeah, and what I tell people is, when you look at the animal kingdom, you would see that look at the physique of a lion. A lion sleeps 16 to 20 hours a day and lays around, but look at their physique. Yeah. And that's where the main part of my nutrition comes in. It's understanding that we all supposed to be eating according to our species, because every living organism on Earth has a specific diet for their species. It's only us humans that have strayed from that. Right. And due to that strain, that's the reason why our physique suffered. Our ancestors, according to studies done, they said that our ancestors were all athletic built and larger brains because of how they ate, right? So their lifestyles were more active. So things like gyms and specific time for exercise wasn't a necessity, because your lifestyle was more active. So because you have an active lifestyle, you don't need gym, right? You don't need to be trying to 2-3 hours in the gym trying to, I would say, half kill yourself to get a particular physique, right? You just had to be active and eat correct. And we do the opposite today. We are more inactive. Most of the jobs that we have are more sitting down, office work in front of a computer. Yeah. And then our diets now are completely off. And that's where the problem lies.
Wow. And you made a statement. You train people, you coach people, and you don't use supplements. You don't use weights. And what else? You don't use something else.
No drugs.
No drugs.
Yeah.
How is that even possible? I mean, especially stuff like supplements. Everybody, people would like to go on supplements to add to their diet and all that kind of stuff. We believe supplements are the way to go. I mean, I know that's not the topic this morning, but you say you don't use supplements. Everybody uses supplements.
Mm-hmm. Well, what people need to understand is that in the supplement industry, no dietary supplement is approved by the FDA. Not a single one. None is approved by the FDA. So when it comes to teaching certification courses in fitness, we are not allowed to recommend the use of supplements because none are approved.
Wow.
right? Not a single one, but people believe that they are approved. In times past, supplements were banned in times past, but of course, you know, it have a lot of politics and lobbying and stuff with regards to it. So they put a block on the FDA, so the FDA cannot check supplements, right? So that's how far it reached, because back in the days it was a $13 billion in profit industry per year. So when you're making that type of money, it's easy to get, politics involved to put a hold on the FDA. And then when you check supplements, they'll have a section, proprietary blend. Proprietary blend is where they keep their trade secrets. So they don't need to disclose all the substances in the supplements. But what most people need to know, especially with regards to gym supplements, protein shakes and stuff, the body cannot utilize the protein from protein shakes because it has already been broken down and the body can't use it. The body needs the raw material and then to go through the natural digestive processes of the body to utilize the amino acids to help build back lean tissue and help the body heal itself. Wow. But supplements come in a heavily processed form, and they have so much additives in it. Many of those additives are cancer forming, but a lot of people aren't aware of that. So supplements aren't needed. There is the myth that there isn't enough minerals in the foods that we eat for us to get it in, but that actually isn't true. All right. If it was true, then I would have been a very sick person, but I am someone that have absolutely no health issues, no diseases. And what I tell people is when it comes to health, you aren't healthy if you are managing an illness. You are healthy when you have no illness to manage. Because you yourself knew me back in the days. I was asthmatic, right? I also had allergies. I had a nice little belly as well, right? So you remember that, right? But my asthma is gone. My belly is most definitely gone, and my shellfish allergies are gone, right? So I could now eat shellfish, seafood, and have no reaction to it. And what most people aren't aware of is those issues has to do with your gut being leaky. So when you have that leaky gut syndrome, that's the cause for allergies and autoimmune disorders. And this is what then could take us to with regards to joint pain and joint problem, because there are different types of joint pain and joint problem, most of which are like, for example, rheumatoid arthritis and lupus are autoimmune disorders. So when the gut is healed, those conditions would go. Then you have the other one, which is gout, which has to do with uric acid crystals that are forming due to purine. But it's not so much that, which is something I would explain, I guess, a little while into the show. And then we have normal arthritis, which is just when the joint integrity is being decayed or is compromised. All right, so all of that we would try to get into and speak on a little so that we could get the viewers to understand what's actually causing their pain in their joints, because it can be multiple reasons, or it can be one of those reasons that I would have mentioned just now earlier.
Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why I called Chetwayo to speak to us on the show today. Now, we're going to be talking about arthritis this morning, but I would really like him to come back whenever he has time to talk a little bit more on other stuff pertaining to the body, how the body function and what we should eat and all of that stuff. And the reason why I called him today is because I know, I went to school with the guy. I saw his gut. I really saw his gut. And over time, because we started school, he didn't have the time he would usually have to exercise. So then the thing started to come over the belt a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. I saw it. And on top of that, I witnessed him taking his inhaler because he was asthmatic. And when I spoke to Chetwayo and he said he reversed his asthma by taking care of himself and changing his diet, I was like, whoa. You know how many people would love to reverse their asthma? When I spoke to the guy and he says he got rid of his allergy.
Shellfish?
The allergy. I was like, what? People develop allergies, allergic reaction to those things over time, and you getting rid of it. I said, this have to be something serious. All right. So I wanted him to come and start talking about arthritis. I know a lot of people, including myself, suffer with some joint pains and arthritis and chronic arthritis. So I wanted him to talk on that topic this morning and help us to understand what we can do to help reduce the pain or even get rid of the arthritis altogether. All right, Chet, is it possible that we can get rid of the arthritis altogether with your strategy?
Well, you can reverse you can get rid of the pain for sure. Right. And based on the nutrition, you can help the joints to regrow what was lost, like cartilage. So I've had one of my clients, she was carded to do knee replacement surgery on both knees, and she hired me. And after about 2 to 3 months, I saw her come to my aqua aerobics class, and she came out of her car running to tell me she just came back from the doctor and to tell her she no longer needed to do the knee replacement surgeries because her knees have healed, right? So, and she came running, and that was the interesting part. She came running out of the car because that was something she could not have done a couple months before. Wow. Because of the issues with her knees, right? It was so worn down that, wow. I mean, she was somebody in her 40s, early 40s, and was started to have her both knees replaced, right? So I say, you know what, we have to deal with that, all right? So I guess we could dive in.
Yeah, let's dive in. One time, and ladies and gentlemen, the number is on the screen. If you have any questions to Chetwayo this morning, you can call this number on the screen and direct your questions to him. All right, let's go, Chet.
All right, so when it comes to osteoarthritis, and we look at the statistical data in the US, you will see that 25% of the US population suffers from osteoarthritis. Now, from my experience with my clients, many of them are not athletic. So they weren't involved in sports or anything like that to explain why it is they have osteoarthritis, which means simply from the wear and tear of the body. Now, your body does get wear and tear on a daily basis, but what is preventing the body from recovering from that wear and tear? That's where the true issue lies. And we have to understand that our diets play a huge role with regard to that. All right. So osteoarthritis, which is where the cartilage is wearing down, and then you get inflammation in the joints and can cause swelling. And these things can lead to what they call septic arthritis, which is where bacteria starts forming in the joints. And that can be life-threatening as well. Now, to understand that when bacteria and things starts to form, it means that the body is in a toxic state, right? Or else bacteria would not have formed. So to help to correct that, we would have to understand that there are things in our diet that are preventing the body from healing as it should. Now, one of the issues in the diet, and this is something, if I'm ever back on the show, you would hear me talking a lot about the use of salt, the importance of salt. I know it's a program with a religious background, and we would know that even in the Bible, it would talk about, the salt of the earth, and you would see many references to salt, because salt is of extreme importance to the human body. And let me mention this, in the Western world here, before, because they just changed the information, I think this month, it used to be recommended not to consume more than a teaspoon of salt, 5,000 milligrams of salt. Now, as they revised it, they are recommended not to consume more than 2,500 milligrams of salt, which is not to exceed half a teaspoon of salt, and ideally 1,500 milligrams, which is even less than half a teaspoon of salt. Now, I want us to think about this. The Japanese, they have the lowest levels of hypertension, the lowest levels of cardiovascular disease and obesity in the first world countries in the world. But the average Japanese consume approximately 3 teaspoons of salt per day, which is way more, about 6 times higher than what is being recommended here in the West. But yet they don't have those same cardiovascular issues and blood pressure issues as us here in the West. Now, from Western studies from the NIH, which is one of the most credible health organizations, their study shows that if your salt consumption drops below 1.5 teaspoons per day, it activates a system in the body, a hormonal system called the RAA system. This stands for the renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. Now, that system, when your sodium levels drop too low, it decides it needs to hold on to the little that it has. So it causes the kidneys to hold on to water, because when you urinate and even defecate, you would lose electrolytes. But your electrolyte intake is too low, so the kidneys now hold on to the water. And this is why you would see a lot of people, especially in the elderly, they would have their joints swelling because of the water retention. Right? Now, when there is that water retention, is because there isn't enough sodium. When there isn't enough sodium, your cells don't have enough water or hydration. Right? So because of that, your blood cells kind of clump together, and that increases your blood pressure. Right? So this is how high blood pressure that isn't caused from a lack of salt, from too much salt. It is caused from a lack of salt. Right now, all these are in the studies, so it's not me just throwing out guess information, right? The other issue now with that is when your sodium intake is too low, it causes the electrolyte system in the body to hold on to that water because you don't want to lose the electrolyte. But your salt has a major role that most people aren't aware of, and that role has to do with the production of sodium bicarbonate. Your body uses sodium chloride, which is salt, and combines it with carbon dioxide, which is the byproduct of oxygen used in the body, to produce sodium bicarbonate, which we all know as baking soda, all right? Sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. Your body naturally produces that. And that is a natural a natural compound that the body uses to neutralize acidity. Because if you take vinegar and you pour baking soda into vinegar, that turns to water because it neutralizes the acidity in the vinegar. All right, so sodium bicarbonate your body uses to neutralize acidity. Now, when your salt intake is too low, your body cannot produce enough sodium bicarbonate, and that condition is called hypochloremic acidosis. So that's when your body is not producing enough sodium bicarbonate to reduce acidity. Now, what does all this have to do with your joints? The underlying cause for joint problem for osteoarthritis is dehydration of the joints. Now, it doesn't matter how much water you drink. If your cells don't have enough sodium in it, your cells cannot utilize the water that you are consuming. And therefore, your joints, regardless of how much water you consume, your joints are still going to end up dehydrated. So your synovial fluid is going to be less in your joints, which is going to reduce lubrication. So that is going to increase friction in your joints. If friction increases, which is that rubbing of the joints, if that increases, it means there is more wear and tear that's going to take place. Now, you're drinking so much water and the body can't use it because sodium levels are too low. That water is going to pass through the body and flush out vital nutrients from the body, which is what you do not want. And this is why most people believe that if their urine is clear, that they are healthy. That is not healthy. That's a sign of overhydration. Something people don't know is overhydration is a common cause of death. Wow. If your urine is clear, you are increasing your likelihood of dying because you are flushing out too much of vital nutrients from your body. So you don't want to overhydrate. You will need to up your salt intake. And also, you have to understand that dehydration causes less deaths than overhydration. So your urine shouldn't be dark. It shouldn't be clear. The urine should have a slight yellow tinge, all right? So salt consumption is key. A couple of years ago, my knees was terrible, right? My joints were painful. I had to stop doing any leg exercise because of my knee pains. And I just upped my salt consumption. And that was the end of my joint problems. Never had any problem with the knees since. Full functionality, and everything is basically back to normal. I could give an example of a recent client who saw me on another morning program, and he did a consultation. I spoke to him. He decided, yes, he and his girlfriend go and get on my program because his issue is knee problem. He has a lot of knee pain. He used glucosamine every day. So the time that I spoke to him was at around 6:30 p.m. It was a Monday evening, 6:30 p.m. Around 5 p.m. the Tuesday evening, he messaged me to tell me today was the first day he didn't have to use any glucosamine because he hasn't had joint pains for the entire day. And just from simply following my advice that I gave him with regards to salt consumption. Since then, it's over a month, or just about a month. He still haven't had any knee pains, right? And he haven't had to use any of his drugs. I could give an example too of another client, and she called to let me know that client, her age was 50 years, and she said her blood pressure. Well, I asked her what's her blood pressure reading, because that's why she hired me, because of her blood pressure. She said her blood pressure, now it's usually now, since she started my program, which was 5 days, she was just on it for 5 days, she said it was at 120 over 75 to 80. I said, well, when last has it been that way? She said since she was in her 20s. So that means she have gone over 20-something years with her blood pressure being higher than that. And just certain changes to her nutrition made such a big change, all right? So these are the simple things that we aren't aware of. Now, some people might say, but salt not good, salt not good. What I like to tell people is table salt, I don't recommend. I do not recommend table salt at all. Salt in nature have over 80 minerals. Table salt, they have bleached out. Most of table salt only have only two, right? So I recommend going for sea salts. And if you're going for sea salt, look for the ones that do not have any additives in it. I have been looking at some in the grocery, and I saw a brand. When I looked and I checked the table of contents, there are salt selling with sugar in it and sugar substitute in it. And I was like, wow, this is quite interesting. But most people just grab salt because they see it marked salt in it and don't read the back, don't read the labeling, right? So you would see I'm like, wow. So don't use any salt that has any anti-caking agents in it or any additives. The ingredients should just be salt only. Two of my favorites is Himalayan pink salt and Celtic sea salt. Those are the two that I would go for, all right? So you could look for those types. And for those that may be saying, because we have heard for years that salt isn't good, ask yourself a simple question. When you get sick and you're hospitalized, what is the first thing that they put you on? They put you on drips, which is a saline solution. So they put you on salt water, while on the other hand, they tell you do not consume salt in your daily life. And I think that should be raising eyebrows for many people. I know one of my clients, he is trained as a paramedic. He's a safety officer. And he said during his schooling, they told him that, saline solution is a modern medical breakthrough. And he turned and asked them, so why are we telling people to use less salt? And the lecturers could not answer him, right? So they do it for the money. That's my conclusion, because people will go to hospital and be placed on saline solution with no food for days. So when many people are thinking they are being healed from the medication that they're giving them, they're being healed from the saline solution because it causes the body to produce sodium bicarbonate, which is neutralizing the acidity, because most sickness, or all sickness, we could sum it up generally as metabolic and respiratory acidosis. So for those that are suffering with issues of arthritis, that individuals need to reduce their sugar consumption. That's key. The reduction of sugar consumption. Personally, I do not consume sugar at all. I don't. I don't consume anything with sugar. All right. And they need to up their salt intake and their protein intake. Right. Now, as I mentioned, protein, one might think about, purines. Purines come from protein. And that would cause people to suffer with stuff like gout because that would increase uric acid in the body. What people don't understand, or most people don't understand, is people that are on a high protein diet, like myself, the body's ability to eliminate purines or uric acid heightens. So you don't get a buildup of purine crystals in the body or uric acid, right? Or monosodium uric acid in the body. What happens is sugar consumption affects the body's ability to eliminate uric acid buildup or purines in the body. And that's what most people don't know. We consume too much sugar, right? Leanne, I don't know if you want to interject or have a question or anything like that.
Boy, watch now. I just taking this thing in here and it's like, wow, this is just like a wow moment. You know, somebody made a statement, health is holistic. Health is holistic, sorry. Have to consider all underlying issues. Are you saying then, Chet, are you saying then what we have been doing, because over time, you know, Chet, you know, I've been seeing from a young age, the older people dying. And then growing up, I started seeing a lot of younger, middle-aged and older people dying. So something have to be wrong. Something have to be wrong somewhere. And are you saying, no, correct me, are you saying that it is because we have been following a pattern? Because yes, I've been hearing left, right, and center, don't consume too much salt, don't use too much salt, and you clarified that your Himalayan salt, pink salt is good, and something sea salt, that is what you're...
Celtic sea salt.
And not the table salt, all right, because it is processed and all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So are you saying for all these years that we've been trying to pull ourselves away from salt, we are actually doing injustice to ourselves? We are supposed to be on more salt? That's what you're saying? In order to keep the body functioning the way it is supposed to and to be healthy?
Yes, correct. Salt is of key importance. What most people aren't even aware of is the concentration levels of salt in the ocean. The body concentration level of salt is supposed to be identical to that. But because of how we have been living, that has been affected. Right, so the concentration of salt in our bodies is not in tune with that of the ocean. And this is why when you go to the beach and you take a sea bath, just being there, you might find your nose starting to run because your body is trying to get rid of its balancing itself because there's now salt in the air. So you are inhaling it. And when you go into the water, the body starts adjusting to it. You'll get some salt water in your mouth, and that helps the body to heal itself. People would go to the beach and would collect salt water and carry it home to use for the cooking and whatnot because of the benefits of it. All right. So when we stay out of salt or stay away from the ocean, we have to keep in mind that mankind have always settled around water, around coastlines. All right. We are quite well adapted for that type of lifestyle. This is a serious part of who we are as people, as human beings. Salt is key, right? There are elephants in Africa that would go every night. There's an entire cave system that was formed solely from elephants because they go to that cave because it's a giant rock mountain, because you know you have mine salt as well. So they would go there, and generation after generation, day after day, night after night, they go there and they consume salt, around 44 pounds of salt per night, till there's an elaborate cave that have formed due to generations of elephant eating salt. Right, that's how important salt is. I know we have seen mountain goats, if you have ever seen mountain goats on the edge of cliffs. Right, people wondering what those goats doing there. They are there to lick salt off the rocks. Right? They are licking salt. They are risking their lives at the edge of cliffs to lick salt off the rocks. You would see baboons would do that. Cattle farmers would put big, huge lumps of salt, blocks of salt out in the field so that the cattle could go and lick salt, right? Salt is important. I remember somebody was saying they saw a farmer, and when he came off the cart and he rested with using a horse and carriage, right, to plow or whatnot, and he rests his hand because you're sweating, and he rests his hand on the cart. And when he moved and he walked off, he turned around and the horse was licking his sweat because of the salt in it, right?
Wow.
Because animals know to seek out salt. We don't produce it. We don't produce sodium, so we have to get it from external sources. But here we are limiting it, and the studies itself shows that if the levels drop below 1.5 teaspoons per day, it activates a hormonal system that causes insulin resistance. So it's not just retaining water, it's not just increasing blood pressure, but if you are diabetic, it's very likely that your diabetes or your blood sugar level is increasing because your sodium intake is too low, and therefore your body cannot neutralize the acidity from the sugars that you are consuming because of hypochloremic acidosis being formed or taking place. And therefore, your cells now would have to resist the sugar by increasing its insulin resistance because your body is not producing enough sodium bicarbonate to reduce the acidity of the sugar.
Whoa,
right?
Whoa.
Osteoporosis comes about when that hypochloremic acidosis starts taking place. It puts a strain on the other aspects of the body. So your kidney starts taking a strain. And here is the thing. Remember, your salt intake is low, so your kidneys is trying to retain water, right? But then the acidity in your blood is going up because of hypochloremic acidosis. So now your kidneys now is forced to excrete urine to try to get rid of the sugars that's building up. So now you're even losing even more sodium because the body is trying to hold on to it, but then the body is making a tough choice. Either I hold on to this water here to try to save my sodium and I allow the acid to build up, or I excrete the acid, right, in order to try to reduce the amount of acidity in this person's blood, or I leave them to die. So the body now makes that tough choice and decides, you know what, start urinating frequently to get rid of this acid. So this is why diabetics urinate so frequent, right? Because the body is trying to get rid of the acidity that's in the blood. So the body now is forced to do that. And then the body now has to go through another avenue. It says, okay, I'm not being able to produce enough sodium bicarbonate. I could only excrete so much without killing myself. Let me start to pull calcium from your bones and teeth and dump it in the bloodstream to try to neutralize the acidity. And that's how bone density now starts to reduce. So you have osteoporosis taking place because your body now is trying so hard to save your life. It pulls calcium from your bones and teeth. This is how rotten teeth comes about. Remember young children, what did it say with young children? When they're eating too much sugar that their teeth get rotten, it's not the sugar on the teeth enough. It's too much sugar in the body that the body has to pull calcium from the teeth to try to neutralize that sugar. That is what causes the rotten teeth, right? So it dumps it in the bloodstream now, and now your kidneys now have to clean out that extra calcium. So when the kidney is now trying to clean out that extra calcium, you're consuming plant-based foods which have something called oxalates in it. So many plant-based foods have oxalates in it. Oxalates is harmful to the body, so your kidneys have to clean that out as well. So now you have oxalates in the kidneys, now you have calcium in the kidneys, and what ends up when the two merge? You get calcium oxalates, which is what we call kidney stones. So it's a chain reaction, it's like a whole domino effect, right? You reduce salt and that was like knocking over the first domino and everything starts happening after. And disease after disease after disease after disease. And what we call that? You go to the doctor and say, oh, that's just signs of old age. If it was signs of old age, every old person would have it. But why isn't every old person suffering in the same manner?
Wow. Chet, watch me. I can't even, you're giving me so much to chew right now. My mouth full. I can't even chew. I can't chew anymore, Chet. I can't chew anymore. You better cancel our next session so you can come back our next day. What What? There is so much chat. Let me ask some questions coming in here. All right. Let me see if I can get them because I had to try and navigate this chat room, right? How do I, well, first of all, Sandra study saying, how do I join your class or program? All right. Are we going to give that information in a while, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, good.
So we'll give that information. I don't know if people want it now or after, but it's very easy to find me. Just put in my name, right? I'm the only person with this name in the world right now, right? Only one person in the world with this name, and that's why I named my business after it.
All right, good. So we're going to give you some information on how to find Chet and his program. All right, let's see if we get another question here. Does coffee affect or is responsible for arthritis?
Oh, coffee is responsible for so many stuff. There are links with coffee and dementia and Alzheimer's, right? People aren't even aware of that. I stay away from coffee like the plague, right? So I don't use coffee. Coffee also has a high amount of copper in it. And because of the copper level, it throws off the microbial system in the body. Right. And that can lead to, especially with regards to females, it can lead to an increase of stuff like yeast infections. Because it throws off the microbial system, there's an imbalance. And because of that imbalance now, you can get bacterial growth going out of whack. Because the body have a way of keeping things in check. I like to call it homeostasis, you know, it keep everything balanced and equal. So when we introduce stuff like coffee have copper and then it have different plant-based toxins in it that makes a mess of the whole body. And then you have the caffeine. It increases the amount of caffeine receptors in the brain. So the more coffee you drink is the more coffee you need. And to me, anything like that causes addictive qualities. And addictive qualities, regardless of what it is, to me, any addiction has to be controlled. So anything that promotes addiction, I would always be in a disagreement for. So I am not a fan of coffee. I try to get my clients off of coffee. But I know a clinic in Australia was saying that the hardest thing for them to get their patients off of is coffee. They say that it has been easier for them to get people off heroin than coffee, right? Coffee is very, very addictive, right? So I just stay away from coffee completely. I remember some years ago when I was doing a first aid course, this was back in 2009 at Red Cross, and it had free coffee. So I decided, let me drink some free coffee. This course started at 7 a.m. So I went and I drank some free coffee. I drank 2 cups of free coffee. And that night, this was 7 a.m. That night I couldn't sleep. I said, not me again, not me and coffee ever again, right? So
wow.
I just stay away from it.
Let's take another one here. How does a high protein diet differs from an alkaline diet? Alkaline diet claims that removal of dairy product, which creates mucus and high mucus in the body, is the root cause of all sickness. So pretty much the question is, how does a high protein diet differs from an alkaline diet?
Well, I think the mistake is what people class as alkaline diet. So that's what I would need. What do they consider to be an alkaline diet, right? Because I have heard people say, oh, you eat this because this is alkaline forming. Something people don't know, I think I was mentioning it to you last night. According to the American Council of Science and Health, they did some studies in 1990 where they were checking plants and they were looking at plants. And when they looked into plants, they found out that the plant naturally produces pesticides. And the pesticides that plants naturally produce are 99.99% identical to the pesticides that are sprayed on the plants, right? When they check, people try to avoid residual pesticides that are sprayed on plants. So they say go organic, not knowing that plants naturally produces compounds that are toxic.
Why?
Right? So the question is why? And a simple reason, animals. If you try to attack an animal could walk away, it could run away, it could fly away, it could swim away, it could jump away. If you corner it, it would attack you. It would have claws, it would have teeth or whatnot. But how does a plant get away from an attack? They cannot move. So they have to come up with another way in which to defend themselves. And that way in which they defend themselves is to create toxins within them that would harm or poison the organism that's trying to feed off of them. Wow. right?
Wow.
So animals that can feed off of plants have a complex digestive system that are designed to facilitate the fermentation and breakdown of those plant compounds so that it wouldn't harm their body. Human beings do not have that digestive system. We do not have a digestive system that is designed to facilitate the fermentation of plant-based foods. Right? So this is why plants have so much toxins. Now, according to the American Council of Science and Health, what they said was, when you're trying to avoid the residual pesticides that are sprayed on plants, the plant itself is producing 10,000 times more than the residual pesticides sprayed on it, which is equivalent to so the average Westerner is consuming 1.5 grams of plant-based toxins or plant-based pesticides per day, right? When you check it up, that's 5,000 to 10,000 different plant-based pesticides the average Westerner is consuming per day. So imagine that every day our diets are 90-95% plant-based, and we are consuming 5,000 to 10,000 plant-based compounds per day. Now, I see somebody is saying that they eat organic plants. I am talking about organic plants.
Wow.
Right? That's what I'm talking about, organic plants, right? In organic plants, the one with the residual pesticides being sprayed on it, that would have up 10,001 pesticides, right? But the organic plants would have 10,000, right? So, you see, and that's usually where the mix-up come about. There's what we call the circle of life. This is what the whole Lion King movie was about. The whole Lion King movie was about the circle of life, where animals eat the grass and other animals eat the animals that eat the grass. When the animals that eat the other animals die, the grass eat back those animals. That's the circle of life, right? A ruminant animal like a cow or sheep or goat, they have 4 stomachs. They have 4 stomachs. And the purpose of them having 4 stomachs is that it is designed to facilitate the fermentation and the breakdown of these toxic compounds in plants. When they break it down, their body now absorb it, right? Their body absorb it. And therefore, animals that do not have that complex digestive system consume that animals, and then they get the nutrients from the plants from that animal, because when that animal consume the plants, break it down, get the nutrients, it is absorbed and it becomes part of them. So then we now eat the meat of that animals, and we get those nutrients from that animal and without the toxins, and we absorb it and we utilize it, right? That's how I am able to look how I look with minimal exercise, right? Wow. Because I eat according to my species-specific diet, all right? We are the only creatures that believe we could eat anything and say, well, some could be herbivores, some could be carnivores, some could be omnivores. If you go anywhere in the world and you find a lion anywhere in the world, it's a carnivore. If you go anywhere in the world and you find a cow anywhere in the world, it's a herbivore. Most people aren't even aware what caused mad cow disease. Mad cow disease was when farmers decide they feel they know what's best for the animal and decided to change the cow's diet from grass to meat. So they took a herbivore animal and they fed a herbivore animal meat. And what came about? Mental health disorder and physical health disorder. What are the 2 things plaguing humanity today? Mental health disorders and physical health disorders. Why? Because our diet have been changed from that species-specific diet, and we are now consuming more plant-based foods than our digestive system is capable of handling. And that's the cause of all diseases. If I give just a little more information here, in 2001, overweight and obesity statistics in Trinidad and Tobago among children, meaning those under 18, was at 12%. Obesity and overweight statistics in Trinidad and Tobago among children was at 12% in 2001. You jump from 2001 to 2021, so 20 years later, obesity and overweight statistics among children is now at over 56%. Wow. How is it that we have an increase in medical breakthroughs, we have an increase in doctors, we have an increase in nutritionists, we have an increase in dietitians. How is it that children's health has moved from 12% overweight and obesity levels to over 56%? Wow. Something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong, right? So we need to look back and revise, and we need to understand that not because a book tells them that this is the right way, that it means that that is actually the right way. Because you go to all medical institutions of learning, they say, well, this is not what I studied. But what about what you are seeing with your own eyes? Are you going to ignore the natural senses that you were given over what was written in a book? Right? So that's what I am. That's what I have observed. And when you think about it, we are accustomed to taking health advice from sick people, right? We are accustomed to taking health advice from sick people. I don't know anybody in the country that's healthier than me or that's fitter than me, but most people don't want to take health advice from somebody that's healthy and fit. You go to your doctor, you're going to see that your doctor is either have high blood pressure, or obese, or overweight, or is suffering with diabetes, or something of the sort, right? I know of somebody talking about they went by a clinic and the doctor had a stroke, but then they are going by this person to get health advice. How it doesn't make sense. Why go by an unhealthy person to get health advice?
Nah, Chet. I don't know, right now you just have me going crazy. Right now you have me going crazy, especially when you started talking about the coffee. I've seen a lot of people in the chat, they gone mad. People saying, but what are you talking about? Somebody even asked, what if they put salt in their coffee? Wow.
Salt helps, eh? Salt helps.
But wow. Somebody asked the question, if overhydration is not good for us, what should the average water intake be when the day comes?
Right. So what I tell people is, you see, and this is one of the mistakes that's done in the nutritional world, when they tell you how much of this you should consume for the day and how much of that, there is no actual way to know exactly how much of what you need. There's no way somebody else could tell you that. Reason being, your activity levels each day is not the same. The atmosphere each day is not the same. So your body will have different requirements, different nutritional and hydration requirements when the day comes. So the simple advice is look at your urine color. Your urine color is the best indicator, right? Your urine should always have a slight yellow tinge. So it shouldn't be clear and it shouldn't be dark. If it is dark, you're underhydrated. So you need to increase your water and sodium consumption. If it is clear, you're overhydrating, so you need to reduce your water consumption and keep a nice, good level of sodium in your body. Your body have mechanisms for that, all right? For example, when it comes to, like I tell everybody, I only eat when I'm hungry. Reason being, that is a metabolic signal, right? Hunger is a metabolic signal telling your body you need to consume in order to maintain homeostasis, right? So we have been trained to ignore our metabolic processes, to eat according to time, which somebody somewhere came up with and tell us, oh, you have to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. When last I checked, I have never seen an animal in nature eat according to time. They eat when they are hungry, right? And when they are hungry, they eat until they are full. Now we have to understand that when you're hungry, it's a metabolic process due to metabolic signaling. Your fat cells would release a hormone called ghrelin. And ghrelin is what makes you feel hungry because your fat cells is asking for fat. The mistake we make is when our fat cells are asking for fat, we give it sugar. And that's the mistake. There is no essential purpose in the body for the consumption of dietary sugar. If your body needs sugar, it can produce it itself. There's a process called gluconeogenesis where your body can convert protein into glucose. So you don't need to consume sugar, right? The body needs fat. So when you consume fat, the body now releases leptin. Leptin cuts the ghrelin, stops the ghrelin from being released, and therefore you feel full. When you are hungry and you consume protein, the body releases a hormone called PYY, which is a peptide, tennessine. And that PYY, when you consume enough protein, it releases a large amount, and that stops you from feeling hungry. That cuts the hunger. Your body have its own mechanisms to measure the consumption of water, to measure the consumption of fat, to measure the consumption of proteins. What throws it off is the consumption of sugar. Sugar throws off that whole measuring mechanisms. When you consume sugar, the body now is like, it goes haywire, because sugar is 8 to 9 times more addictive than cocaine.
Whoa.
So it goes into this kind of a whole set of dopamine releases taking place, and the body gets these addictive tendencies. So you want even more and more. I know they did a little experiment where if they give a child a soft drink and carry the child to an all-you-can-eat buffet, and you give a child no soft drink and carry the child to all-you-can-eat buffet, the child that drank the soft drink would end up eating more, even though he's consuming more. Because of the sugar, that child would eat more than the one that did not have the soft drink, right? Because the sugar just throws off everything in the body, right? Wow. It throws it off completely.
Wow. But Chet, I just want to take, I wonder if I even have time for 2 more questions, because questions coming in here. And let me get this question here, all right? What is the reason arthritis form around steel implants in the body, around the surgical sites? Is there any way to prevent this or stop the progress?
Well, I always tell people, let your bones heal with a cast. You know, okay. Plaster, Paris, but we want to do the quick stuff. Remember, steel is foreign. It's a foreign object you are putting into the body. So the body is going to start to grow bone around it. And because it's not natural, that can lead to inflammation. All right. So sometimes some people's bodies don't even, bodies might even reject the steel, and then it can cause infection. And that can even lead to septic arthritis, which can be life-threatening. So you don't want to, I always tell, let the bone heal, or try your best not to injure yourself to the point that you would need to get in steel implants. So if somebody does have steel implants, that's when you have to be even more careful with your diet, so that the level of acidity through sugar consumption does not increase to the point that your natural defenses can't keep inflammation down. All right. So the diet has to be strict. If you do have steel in your body, you need to pay close attention to what you are consuming, so that you will increase the chances of inflammation being caused. All right. Okay. And that is what would cause arthritis around those steel additives. Wow. I would call it those steel implants.
Look, I got something here. Is intermittent fasting advantageous for the body?
Yeah, intermittent fasting is quite excellent. What I tell people, though, is most people don't do the intermittent fasting correct. So how I intermittent fast, I just eat when I'm hungry. All right, I just follow my metabolic processes, my metabolic signaling. I eat when I'm hungry. If I'm not hungry, I wouldn't eat. Right, and that's sometimes. I remember it went a time I did not eat for 3 days because I did not get hungry. Right. I just wasn't hungry. So 3 days passed, and I was like, oh, okay, and I started to feel hungry. So then I ate. Right? Yeah, and I was fine, right? I was perfectly fine. One of the mistakes people do when they are fasting is they don't consume salt. So if you're fasting, consume salt. Remember, people would be in the hospital for days and all they're on is strips, which is salt water. Right. So during people's fast, they need to increase their sodium consumption, because now you're not adding in anything that is causing acid. The only acid the body has to deal with is with the natural processes of the body breaking down itself and reusing material, which is what we call autophagy. Right. So autophagy is when the body would break down cells and utilize the raw material of that cells to help heal the body. But the ways that is created is the same uric acid. So in fact, 2/3 of the uric acid in the body is not from your diet. 2/3 of the uric acid is caused from just the body's natural process of autophagy, which is where it breaks down cells, and apoptosis, which is where it destroys cells, right? So that is what caused uric acid in the body, and nothing is wrong with that. The problem is when the body is hindered in reducing or getting rid of the uric acid. All right, that's where the problem is. Sugar consumption affects that elimination process. So it reduces that, so you end up with a buildup.
And finally, we spoke about, avoiding plant-based foods. What about fruits?
Right. Now, the human digestive system has, the gastrointestinal tract has about a 17% capacity to facilitate the fermentation of plant-based foods. Only 17% capacity. A dog is 14%, a cat is 16%. This is why when you see them eat grass, they throw up. Humans are just 17%, which means plant-based food should not make up the majority part of our diet. So if somebody is to consume fruits, they can, right? But occasionally. Remember, fruits also consist of a sugar called sucrose, which is 50% glucose and 50% fructose. Fructose is what causes the problem. So fruits should not be consumed in high volumes, and I wouldn't recommend it being consumed often. All right. So if somebody do have to consume it, it should be in very small amounts, especially if somebody is diabetic. And like I tell people, look at a lion. They don't consume any fruits at all, no plant-based anything, right? And they are healthy, right? Wow. They are healthy.
Wow.
So you can get all the nutrients you want from animal-based products.
You got to come back here, man. You got to come back here. Before you leave, I know you have another appointment. Before you leave, tell the people every single place they can find you, how they can get on your program. And, guys, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about allowing Chetwayo to give somebody a free session just on the basis of our friendship. I'll let you know.
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about that.
I'll let you guys know what's happening, but let them know where they can find you. People are already asking. All
right, so you can contact me on Facebook or Instagram by just putting in my first name, Chetwayo, Chetwayo. And I have my business page, which is Chetwayo's Fitness Enterprise on Facebook. You can find me on my website, which is chetwayosfitness.com. All right, so you can find me there as well. But once you Google my first name, it would come up, like I mentioned before. I'm the only person alive in the world today with this name, right? So quite easy to find, quite easy to find. All right. Nice. Also, you can WhatsApp me. WhatsApp me at 761-1952. That's 761-1952.
761-1952. All right.
Yes.
All right. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, and the people can get personal attention. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
So you can get so it all depends on which packages people want to sign up for and whatnot. All right. Usually people can do a consultation if they like, or they can get on the program itself.
Nice, lovely. This song's really good. Chet, you have to work on me. You have to work on my diet. Start working on me. When I finish here, I'm gonna drink a bucket of salt water, Chet.
Now remember with the salt consumption. If you consume more than half a teaspoon in one shot, it's going to send you to the toilet.
In one shot?
Because if you drink more than half a teaspoon in one shot, it'll send you to the toilet. That's actually the reason why people are constipated, is because their salt consumption is too low. Remember I mentioned that the kidneys hold on to water when you don't get in enough sodium. So that is what causes constipation, which can lead to anal fissures, and that could cause damage to the colon, and where people have to get their colon removed, right? Because of lack of salt, the stool is dry, constipation takes place, and that movement of dry stool through the rectum can cause anal bleeding, right? And that can become infected, and that could cause a whole battery of problems.
Wow. Chet, just give me one more. I mean, I would like to let you go, but I just can't let you go. Just give me one more example of a client that you had, you took them, you work on their diet, and you reverse their condition? Just give me one more example.
Oh, so I had a client, after being on a morning program, the mother of a client, he was 10 years old, and his mom contacted me because she said from the age of 3, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So since he was 3 years old, he was taking insulin morning and evening. So he's now 10 years old. So for 7 years, he has been taking insulin morning and evening. So the mom hired me, and she contacted me. She said she wanted me to deal with her son. She signed up and stuff for the program. And within 3 days, he was off insulin. Blood sugar level was back to normal. It's over 2 months, and he's still off insulin. His blood sugar level is completely back to normal, right? So what I tell people is, how could a condition that the medical world class as incurable be reversed within a week? It means that something has to be off within the medical field, right? Something has to be terribly off. How could type 1 diabetes be reversed within a week, right? So we need to ask those questions. And all my clients that suffer with high blood sugar levels, it goes back to normal in a week, 2 weeks. And why is that, right? So then somebody is not giving people the right information somewhere, right? I had another client, and he was told he have to go on statin drugs for cholesterol levels, because last year what he told me is that he spent over $37,000 just from one doctor to the next doing this test and that test. And the doctor told him you have to go on this medication for the rest of your life. So he decided to hire me. So after about a month and a half, he went back, after hiring me, he went back by the doctor to do blood work. And the doctor was like, wow, your cholesterol level, everything back to normal. He said, well, you do the medication working? He said, doc, I never take the medication and I throw it away. And the doctor was baffled. The doctor was baffled, right? Total confusion, right? So I'm accustomed to getting those sort of reactions, right? Doctors are usually baffled. I remember I sent my blood work to a friend of mine that's a senior doctor in the US. And I sent it to her, and her response was, whoa. She was like, whoa, you are extremely healthy, right? So all I could do was laugh at that, right? Because they don't see blood work like that, right? They're not accustomed to seeing blood work like that. So she was quite surprised at how healthy I am, right? So, and that's usually the kind of response I would get.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we got for you this morning. I had to replace Fresh Fun Friday with this. This is still a fun Friday. I'm having fun with this information. Wow, this is Chetwayo Borde, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up. Put some hearts in the chat. Put some love in the chat for your boy Chetwayo. This was some really pertinent information, powerful information, ladies and gentlemen. Information that can change our lives. What I got from this session, we got a lot. But the main thing that I got to keep your body healthy, avoid, keep away from too much sugar, and try consuming a little more salt. That's what I'm getting here. Is that right, Chet?
Yeah.
Whoa. And find yourself on a diet with a lot more meat. Is that right?
Yeah, so a lot more animal-based foods.
I love that. I got me some pork when I'm finished here. Eat some pork ribs for breakfast. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Chetwayo Borde for you. That's the man of the hour. Chet, thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking your valuable time, spending it here with us. I know you have another appointment really soon. Well, probably no. All right, thank you so much. I'm so appreciative of this. Guys, remember you can catch Chetwayo on Facebook, on Instagram. He has a website. Just type in Chetwayo and everything comes up. You can sign up for your plan. You can get personal attention, join his program, take a package, and see if that will work for you to deal with your arthritis issues and other health issues as well. You hear from the man himself the results that he's been getting with some of his clients, ladies and gentlemen, who have been dealing with arthritis, dealing with cholesterol, dealing with diabetes. Wow, thank you so much, Chet, for joining us. God bless you. Keep up the good work, and you'll be working on me. You'll be working on me very soon. Well, you started working on me already. Chet, I want you to do something I want you to do something really quick for me. Really quick. Give me one of your give me one of your secret. I want you to give me something, a little bit of your secret sauce. Could you tell the people just one little tip of how to use the salt? I know that is probably a part of your program and in helping them how to use it, but give them a little tip. Give them a little bit of what you give in the program, a little insight.
Right. So what you want to do, at least mix a little more than 1.5 teaspoons of salt in a bottle of water, and you could sip that throughout the day. Right. Now, I just chug salt just so, because that to me is my snack. I would just chug it just so, right? So I would have a little bit quite often throughout the day. So that's what I would do. And it works. It works. So if somebody can't just, chug salt like that, they could mix some in some water and sip that throughout the day. You'll still be drinking your regular water as well, right? But you still want to get in little bits of salt water when the day comes. All right. So that's one way to get it in a little bit easier. All right. So unlike me, I just like the taste of salt. To me, salt is excellent tasting.
Wow. Thank you so much, Chet. Really appreciate it. God bless you. And we'll catch you around, bro. Wow.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, bro. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we got for you. Wow. This has been an amazing session this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. Up your intake of salt, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. I'll be taking that advice and sipping some salt water throughout the day. Just including a little more salt. I use Himalayan salt, so I'll include a little bit of salt throughout the day. Guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to stick around and catching on to a bit of this show, because this was indeed amazing stuff. This was indeed amazing stuff. So God bless. We're going to be wrapping things up now, and my, this has been a different one. If you're interested, please contact Chetwayo Borde and jump on his program today. All right, jump on his program today. This is really good stuff. So guys, oh my goodness, thank you so much, guys. Remember to share this video and let people know what is happening, let people know this information. All right, of course, you can do your own investigation. I looked at a video, I looked at an interview, and the guy on the interview said his daughter came home because he has been dealing with anxiety and other health issues, mental and health issues, and his daughter came home with some information and said, "Daddy, I want you to stop eating those cucumbers and greens." And he was like, "How can I stop eating greens and cucumbers?" And she said, "Yeah, just stop eating cucumbers and greens and get on a diet that consists of meat only." And he was like, "What?" Because they try to tell you, he is saying that the doctors say, wean off the meat. So she told him, get off the greens that much and start eating more meat. Just as what Chetwayo is saying here, I've been looking at the interview, and the guy say, boom, just like that, within like a couple days, he start feeling 25% better on mornings. And going along, boom, after about 3-4 days, 75% better. His body starts feeling better, no anxiety. And I was like, what? By changing your diet like that, So it seems as though there's something in there, because when I listen to Chetwayo, he talks a lot about the people that contacts him, and a lot of vegetarians and vegan contact Chetwayo, and they have been on vegetation and greens and so on for 30-40 years. And they call him and they contact him and they are dealing with cancer. So why is it that confuses me? Why is it, people eat greens and they eat plant-based foods and healthy stuff like that and still contract cancer? So it seems as though we can do our own investigation. I'm not telling you to just grab onto information like that, but do your own investigation. But this is some really good stuff coming out here this morning, and I want to thank you guys for sticking around. All right, so God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. I think I saw a birthday, and I think I saw an anniversary rather in the chat. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw Michael and Lestine Brown celebrating their anniversary today. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. That is the anniversary I saw in the chat, and we're going to be singing happy anniversary to Michael and Lestine this morning. Somebody got to drop a beat for me on the Fresh Fun Friday. Ba-dun-ta-dun-tan-tan. Bo! Ba-dun-ta-dun-tan. Happy anniversary to you, Mikey Mike. Happy anniversary to, and my girl Lastine. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary to you. God is blessing, God is blessing you now. God is blessing, God is blessing you now. God is blessing, God is blessing. God is blessing. God is blessing you now. Have a wonderful weekend, guys, and remember, arthritis can be dealt with. You can get your pain removed. I'm not the one to talk to, but I'm the one that can put you onto him. Or if you like, you can go directly to his social media pages, all right? Arthritis can be dealt with. Let Chetwayo take care of you. And when he gives you what he, sees fit for you and your diet and so on and so forth, you can decide, okay, if you want it or not. But give it a try. If you have been dealing with it for years, at least you can give something a try. This sounds like some really good stuff here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm your man, Leon Lewis, and this is Label. Thank you so much for joining us this Friday morning. Have a great day and have a great weekend. Blessings to every single one of you. Bye-bye. We're going to be seeing you soon. All right, take care. Lord, you are more precious than silver. Sing, Lord, you are more costly than gold. Singing, Lord, you are more beautiful than diamonds, and nothing I desire compares with you. Happy birthday to you, Agnes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Jerome and Janella. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing, God is blessing you now. God is blessing, God is blessing you now. God is blessing, God is blessing. Yeah, this God is blessing. God is blessing you now. Lord, you are more precious than silver. Lord, have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. More costly than gold. Well, Lord, you are more beautiful than diamonds, and nothing I desire compares with you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for your tremendous support. Love you guys. Bye-bye.